Assalamu Alaykum. Welcome to the LDM show. Today we have a special guest, Brother Hussein. Assalamu Alaykum, bro.
Walaikum salam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Okay, so straight to it. How did you become Muslim? Why did you become Muslim?
Okay, basically I wasn't looking into Islam. Unfortunately, like a lot of Caribbean families or a lot of people in general, I was born into a single parent family. Basically because I never had a father figure around, I started getting really unruly with my mother. So basically what happened is that she tried to discipline me and so forth, but because I never had that father figure, I started not listening, not doing anything around the house, not washing up anything, coming home late at night, and basically just disrespecting my mother. This happened for a number of years. I got older, I got worse, until eventually it led to me getting kicked out. I was kicked out, I was homeless for some time, and then what happened is one day, because basically I was homeless and I went down to like 6-7 stone, my clothes were falling off me, I was losing consciousness. It was my fault. My mum, she told me many times that she was going to kick me out, but I'd never thought it was going to happen, and I really had no regard or respect for her because I just disobeyed her. So it wasn't her fault that she kicked me out, but she kicked me out anyway. But once I was kicked out, couldn't go into any families or any relatives or anyone else because they told my mum to kick me out years ago. So the stage got where I was out, my clothes was falling off me because I was losing weight. I was, the times when you contemplate, you look at a bin and you think, if I close my eyes and put my hand in there and take something I'd eat without looking at it, maybe it might not taste that bad and stuff. What happened one day, I was in Clapham, Balham South, and there was this blue office. It was basically an office for young teenage pregnant girls, or girls who have sexually transmitted disease, or just young girl female problems. So I walked in there and there was a lady in there, so I asked her for help, and I basically begged her to help me. I said, I'm going to die out there if you don't help me. And she was like, I'm not equipped to deal with you. I deal with females with pregnancies. And I said, look, I need your help. I'm not going to make it. So she was on the phone for about an hour. And at the end of it, she said, look, I can't really help you, but there's you have a meeting with an organisation, maybe in 2 weeks' time. Maybe they can find you a shelter for the night or something. So I went to this meeting. I made it to the meeting, alhamdulillah. But what happened is that I went to the meeting. I don't remember much about the meeting. I just remember there was a man, there was a woman, and at the end of the meeting they put a key in my hand, and I was just happy. I was really happy because at that moment I actually had a place built of concrete where if it was raining outside, it was cold outside, it was freezing outside or whatever, I had a place to stay to protect me from the elements. But this was also a bad period of my life because before in my mum's house I had freedom, but this time I could do whatever I wanted, but I always had this nagging voice in the back of my head, my mother. But now I didn't even have that. Unfortunately, so I could smoke what I want, I could drink what I want, I could wear what I want, I could watch what I want, I could do whatever I want, and I had no one over me, and this was part of my downfall. But anyway, at the same time I got my new place, I started hanging around for a guy who hanged out on a estate in Wandsworth called Henry Prince. And I started hanging around right there, and it was strange because I saw older people like me, same background, same race and everything. And what happened, basically, they had cars, they had motorbikes, they had jewellery, they never used to work, but they had all these material things. But anyway, I started wondering, how do you do this? So you don't work, you don't go to school, you don't go to uni, you don't do anything, but you have all this stuff. So obviously, hanging around with them, I came to know how they did it. And so, like, for example, one day they were going to a shop or something, and what they do, pick up a Coke and a Polo and give the man £1, and as soon as he pressed the button to open the till, they would just attack him. And then attack him until that the guy was basically motionless, and then they would take the trays of the money. And at first it scared me because even though I was rude and I was undisciplined to my mum, I wasn't involved in violence. So when you see a middle-aged man, and 6 guys in a shop batter someone, it affects you. But what happened basically with time, and I started seeing the things that other people had, Versace, Moschino, shirts and this, that and the other, mopeds and these other things and so forth, and looked up the Oprah a lot, I started to feel less, you rationalise things. So then I started doing it. So basically I did it. Anyway, when you do crime, you got to do time. First, when you do crime, you get into trouble. I was doing probation. Then after probation, I was doing community service. Then after community service, I said, you go jail. So anyway, I went jail for a short time. They let me out. I robbed someone else while I was out. And they said, this time you're staying in jail. and you're not going to, you're not basically coming out because you've committed another crime, so you're staying till your court case. Anyway, basically, may Allah forgive us, but the guy that we attacked, every time he was supposed to come to court, he had heart failure. May Allah forgive us. And the trial date kept on getting pushed back, so I was in jail for a year. Now, what happened basically, before I went into jail, one day when I was hanging around my mother's house, being rude, not listening to her, my cousin came round. He looked different, he had a beard, he was wearing a long kind of gown thing, and I thought, what's up with my cousin? So he said he'd become a Muslim, and I was confused because I was like he said he's converted to Islam, and I was confused. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, yeah, he's converted to Islam. So I said, I was confused because I was thinking, how's he going to convert to becoming an Asian? And I was confused because, you know, I said, how's he going to hang around with him? He's dark skinned, they're light skinned. How's he going to hang around with him and then not realise that he's black?
So you thinking that Islam's only like a culture?
Yeah, I thought it was a race. I thought it was a race or a place. Yeah. So what happened? He had to explain to me now. He goes, Islam is a belief, and he said, like all religions, even Islam, tell you to be nice to parents, be nice to the poor, help the elderly, help the homeless. But he said the difference between Islam and every other religion is that when you take the time to research who and what they worship, they're the only ones that worship God. So now I was confused because even though I was there listening to Tupac and Biggie and my rap and my this, that and the R&B, I believed in God, and I believed in his concept of just worshipping God. But I said, but we're Jamaican Christians, we don't worship our God. We just believe that Moses, Jesus, Noah and all these people came, were cool dudes and they told people to worship God. And he goes, no, our family believe Jesus is God. And I was like, nah, I don't believe that. So I said, no, our family don't. I was thinking to myself that we don't. So I went and asked my mum, and I said, Mum, we believe that Jesus, Moses, all these people, they came and told people to worship God. We don't believe they are God, do we? And she said, well, son, there's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. They're three, but they're one, but they're three. And then what happened is I remember we did these little plays where Jesus was a baby crying and the three wise men came, and I thought, how could that be the creator of the sun, the moon, the stars, the skies, and all of this? So at that point, you know, and I remember Jesus praying, you know, and obviously if Jesus was a baby, I can't imagine Mary holding the creator of the universe, controlling the sun, the stars, while he's crying at night. So at that point I stopped believing it. So anyway, when I had my time in jail, and I was there for a long time, because the worst thing about jail is the boredom. You run out of things to think about. Like, you know, some people killed themselves. 3 people actually killed themselves while I was in there. And you just think about things. I thought there's got to be more to life, than making money during the week, wearing designer clothes and dancing on the weekend.
For real.
I thought there has to be more to that. I don't want to do this to wear Versace machine and dance like a monkey on the weekend. It didn't make sense to me. So I was thinking, okay, well, what's life about then? Because a lot of the things that I did, I didn't get caught for. So I thought, you know, there has to be more to life. So I was thinking about what my cousin said, and then this is how I decided. I came to the conclusion that I believed in Islam. Basically, what happened is that I looked at my cousin, and I looked at my Christian family, and I looked at the Bible, and I looked at the Quran, because I had a Quran. So what happened is I noticed my cousin, he was always telling me that he believed in one God. God is not a man, God is not a statue, God is not an animal. Then I looked at my Christian family. They believe God is a man, a statue, and this, that. You know, so God becomes Jesus and this, that, and the other stuff. I thought it didn't make sense. Also, the Bible says, "Hear, O Israel, your Lord God is one." Thou shalt have no graven images. So basically, I said, look, my cousin's got a belief in a God. No one's seen him. He's not black, not white. He's not a man, not a statue, animal. I agree with that. I looked at my cousin. He fell down on his face and prayed like the prophets in the Bible. He grew his beard like the prophets in the Bible. His wife dressed like Mary, like the woman in the Bible. You know, they practice circumcision. Don't eat, drink alcohol. Don't eat pork. Then I looked at my Christian family. You go to church, you know what I'm saying, all different black churches and stuff. They got saxophones, they got violins, they got this, they got idols, they got a big statues of saints and stuff. And what it was basically was that I was thinking, right, you never seen a Bible where Jesus says to the disciples, come with us and pray, and they start moonwalking and start getting jiggy with it and start doing, you know what I'm saying, shuffling and breakdancing and stuff. But you see that in the church. You see what I'm saying? So I say, it seems to me that all the Muslims, they're praying, their worship, the way they dress, the way they stuff, is that thingy. Also the women in dress, their cleavage, mini skirts, the guys look like Puff Daddy. So that's basically it. I decided then in jail that there's no God that has the right to be worshipped except Allah, and that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the final messenger.
Okay, you know what, mashallah, from that story, I think we can kind of see that, you know, had no one been around to kind of tell you about Islam, you would have never known what it is.
Never.
You get me? So why very quickly, like, why do you think it's important to give dawah to non-Muslims, and do you give dawah to non-Muslims yourself?
Yeah, I do. The reason why it's important, because if we don't tell anyone, no one will know. And also the Prophet, he told us to spread the word. He said that I'm sending you to the. He said the Quran tells us that a prophet was sent to every nation. First thing, calling to Tawheed. When he sent Mawad ibn Jabal to Yemen, he said, you're going to tell people of the book, so let the first thing you call to Tawheed. So we're told to go out and call the people to Islam. It's only fair if you have something so beautiful that you should share.
For real, exactly. If you got something and you know next man, where you know they're gonna suffer for it at the end of the day, they need to be told about it.
Yeah.
So I know you're doing a project called Street or Deen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you tell people about what Street or Deen is and basically where to go to kind of find out more information?
Okay, basically what it is that even though I'm a convert to Islam, in my early stages I fell off Deen for quite a long period, and what happened is that at that period of time I fell off the Deen. I got back into smoking a bit, haram girlfriend, and music. And what it was is that I never enjoyed any of that time, because I'd practiced a bit before. It's just that I was around the wrong people and I didn't keep in contact with practicing brothers. So for a long time, a very long time, I was depressed, upset that I wasn't practicing, doing haram stuff, but never changed it. And what is basically, I set up Street of Deen to reach people that have no contact with Islam or whether it's a brother smoking weed, a brother in a gang, a sister who maybe got pregnant outside her marriage, people that don't go to the mosque, don't go to Jummah, don't have no practicing friends, so I can reach them, because everyone has a smartphone nowadays. Everyone has a smartphone, so you can reach someone. They could be the real smoking weed, they could be a sister who's going raving in her own flat, all this, that and the other. I've done this so I can just reach out to them. Because all I needed was a little push, and when I got that little push, then that's what starts the motor.
Alright, so alhamdulillah, so basically you told us a little bit about Street or Deen.
Yeah, streetord.com. All you have to do is there's a website, streetord.com, that basically just go on there. Tackle all issues, whether it be drugs, gangs, pregnancy, zina, everything, the worst of the worst. And basically, if you type Street or Deen into Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, you'll come across me.
That's it. You know what, Rago, that's what we're saying, yeah? Is that you're on the street, you probably just thinking your life is a bunch of circles, ain't going nowhere. Go to the website, streetordeen.com, yeah?
One last thing, what we're trying to do, we're trying to call people back to correct role models, the prophets, the companions, the rest of the Salaf, for both the males and the females. Because what we've done now, we've replaced the prophets with rappers, and that's the problem. And it's also the ulama and stuff like that. We've replaced it with rappers, so that's the problem. And we want to get them back just at. And sorry, I also do prayer times on all Facebook, Twitter, whatever you name it. I do prayer times and so forth. So,
MashaAllah, Jazakallah khairan, bruv. Jazakallah khairan. Inshallah, they'll reach out to you.
Jazakallah khairan.
Barakallah. Assalamu Alaykum.